The sun rose over Burkina Faso in a soft dawn that stroked the morning sky with pastel hues. The air was cool, and birds sang sweetly in trees that lined a smooth, well-trod road. A long convoy of shiny black vehicles sped down the highway, the president's car, strong, polished, and well-protected, in its center. President Ibrahim Traoré, in fine traditional robes, rode within, studying important papers. He glanced at his assistant. "We must reach the capital in 2 hours. Our nation's fate is decided in this meeting. I will not be late." "Yes, Your Excellency," the assistant replied. The driver pressed the accelerator, and the convoy hurtled on, the road clear, the journey uninterrupted. Guards sat alert, eyes scanning the horizon, ready to react to any threat. Suddenly, a small figure emerged from the bushes and stood in the center of the road. "What is it?" a guard shouted. The driver slammed on the brakes, tires screeching as the president's car halted feet away from a child. Dust flew, and the guards leaped out, bewildered. "It's a girl!" one of them exclaimed. She was maybe 5, her dress torn, her feet bare, her hair dust-powdered, but her eyes burned with determination. "Move!" the driver snarled. "This is the president's convoy. Do you want to get yourself killed?" The girl stood her ground, her voice low but firm. "I have to see the president. It's an emergency." The guards exchanged confused glances. "Little one, move. We have no time," one of them said roughly. She shook her head. "You will not pass. Please." Curious and irritated, President Traoré stepped out, his assistant trailing. "What's going on?" he demanded, his voice deep. The girl pointed at him. You're the one I'm looking for." Traoré blinked. "Me?" "Yes," she said. "You must not continue this journey. Wait here for 2 hours." There was a silence, and then laughter. "You expect the president to wait because you tell him so," one of the guards jeered. But the girl's expression did not waver. "Please wait. You will not make it if you leave now." Traoré frowned. "Little one, I love children, but this is ridiculous. This meeting is for the future of our nation. I cannot wait." She stared him in the face. "A goat doesn't run by day for nothing. I am not joking. I am not angry. There is danger on this road." Traoré was enraged and turned his back. "This is rubbish." But when he reached his car, the girl screamed. "I dreamt it. A great fire, cars screeching, people crying, and you in the middle. If you go now, you will never return." The guards moved to remove her, but something restrained Traoré. He faced about. Her eyes glistened with tears, her small hands trembling, but she did not flinch. He sighed, approached her, and kneeled. "Who are you?" "My name is Hope," she whispered. "I have no parents. I sleep under a tree by the old well, but I saw this in my dream, and I had to stop you." Traoré questioned her. She was serious, scared but truthful. He stood up. "Call off the trip. We wait 2 hours." "Sir?" the guards gasped. "We wait," he roared. The convoy halted on the empty road, in the shade of trees, due to a 5-year-old girl. Traoré stayed in his car, no longer reading, staring out of the window. "I must be mad," he told himself, "but something tells me she's not." The sun climbed higher, baking the parked vehicles. Time crawled. 30 minutes in, Traoré's patience waned. His phone rang. An urgent call from the international business team. His assistant answered nervously. "They're calling again, sir." Traoré snatched the phone. A sharp voice crackled through. "Your Excellency, this delay is disrespectful. If you're not here in 90 minutes, we'll offer this multi-billion-dollar deal to another nation." 60 minutes remaining, the voice snapped before it disconnected. The guards grew restless. "Is this a trap?" one asked. "We don't know if she's a decoy from enemies." Another urged, "Let us go." Traoré rushed at Hope, who was now sitting on a roadside boulder, gazing up. "You!" he roared. "I am through waiting." Hope stood calmly. "Please wait." "No," he barked. "You're too small to give commands to a president. Who do you think you are?" The guards, the assistant, even the birds seemed to hold their breath. Traoré's voice turned bitter. I blame myself for having heeded a dream. Hope's eyes met his, unwavering. Even a lion hesitates when the antelope does not run away. What? Traoré said, now quietly. Danger does not always roar, she told him. Sometimes it is silent, like an antelope that does not run away. When the lion pounces, it falls into a snare. A great man who pays no attention to a small warning becomes the biggest whale in the graveyard. A tremor ran through Traoré. The guards whispered, "She's no ordinary child." Hope continued, "If I were lying, would I come here, barefoot, hungry, to hold you back? I have nothing but this warning." Traoré stepped back, his breath uneven. "We wait," he ordered. No one objected. The guards roped off the zone, some sitting under trees, others standing vigilant, whispering among themselves about the girl whose words cut keener than bullets. Traoré waited in his car, her parable echoing forth. A mighty man who listens not to a little warning becomes the graveyard's loudest wail. He glanced at Hope, still on her rock, looking up, as if expecting something to fall. 2 hours passed. The convoy remained stationary, tension building. Then, an assistant's telephone rang. "It's the National Emergency Team," he said, his voice trembling. "Speaker," Traoré ordered. A voice filled the air, its tone tinged with panic. "Your Excellency, a horrific accident occurred 40 minutes ahead. A petrol tanker exploded and over 40 vehicles were engulfed in flames. It was an hour ago, when you would have been driving by." There were gasps. "No one survived," the voice continued. "Not a single person." Traoré's legs weakened. He stepped out, pale, and approached Hope, who still sat in silence. The guards followed, silent. Kneeling before her, he whispered, "You saved my life." "It was not me," she whispered. "It was the dream." He shook his head. "You could have stayed hidden, but you came into the path of my convoy. You stood before me, a man consumed by fear." "I was afraid too," she admitted. "But I was more afraid of what would have occurred if I had not spoken up." Traoré took her hand. "From this day forward, your name isn't just Hope. You're my hope, Burkina Faso's hope." The convoy returned to the capital, moving slowly, thoughtfully. Hope rode alongside Traoré, her head on the seat, watching trees pass by. At the presidential villa, aides froze when they saw the barefoot girl holding the president's hand. Traoré addressed his officials, guards, and media team in an emergency meeting in the Grand Hall, Hope by his side. "I was headed to a meeting today that would have earned us billions in investment. Then this 5-year-old orphan stopped us." Gasps filled the room. "She warned us of harm. I nearly ignored her, but her words, her parables, stopped me. 2 hours later, we learned a tanker blew up on our path. No one survived. We would be dead if not for her." Tears fell. A guard sobbed openly. Traoré placed a hand on Hope's shoulder. "She's no longer an orphan. She's my daughter. I'll raise her, educate her, protect her. Her name is Hope, a national treasure." The room erupted in cheers. Hope, in her tattered dress, stood quietly, tears streaming as she was embraced as family. The next day, Traoré broadcast to the nation, holding Hope in his arms. He recounted the story, the road, the warning, the parables, the accident, her adoption. Burkina Faso wept, from the elders to the children. Hope's parables spread. Even a lion halts, when the antelope refuses to run. A big man who ignores a small warning becomes the loudest cry in the cemetery. Hope began her new life in the palace, school, clothes, food, friends. When she was asked to tell how she had become the president's daughter, she smiled. "I just said what I saw in my dream." Moral lesson. No voice is too small to save a life, no message too weak to be true, no leader too great to listen. Greatness is sometimes not in speaking loudly, but in listening quietly. To lead is good, but sometimes to heed is better.